Hey Larry, how's it going? Good to see you again. Thanks for hopping on with me for a few minutes.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking time to interview me and digging into, where I've been and where I'm going.
Right. Well, we first met when you bought the Land Flipping 101 course. So I'd love to just kind of hear your backstory. Like, how did you get there? How did you find me and get into that course? And then what happened to you? Like, what was the result? I saw that you had done like 39 deals. So I'd really love to hear all you can share with me about that, how you've done with that.
Yeah, so I think I had been in the space for a few months. I don't think I had done a deal yet. I took another training before I took yours. So I was slightly ahead of some of the people that I was going through the training with at the time. But your course, it just really propelled me and gave me all the resources. It was much more in depth than the other one I took. And the other one I took was great, but this one was just a little more advanced and a little more full. And it just really gave me the confidence to go full steam ahead. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it and all the resources that it provides.
Cool. Well, I remember you had a really successful job and you were kind of trying to leave corporate America. So talk about that. How were you able to do that? How long did it take? And how did you do it?
Yeah, I was 15 years in medical device sales, and I was with Johnson and Johnson for a long time, and then Abbott. And I had just really been looking at all different things to do. I talked to a few franchises. I looked into all the Amazon FBA stuff and was listening to all the different kinds of podcasts. And I always loved real estate and had been involved in Airbnb and a few different other things, but I knew I didn't want to be a realtor and I didn't want to necessarily take, people up to look at houses on Saturday afternoon. And so when I came across land, I loved it because not everyone's talking about it. You tell people that you're a land investor and they look at you like, well, I have a million questions. So
Yeah.
it really spoke to me. It made sense to me. That's not really something easy to evaluate. And it just makes perfect sense that, people might not necessarily know the full market value of their property and be happy to get an offer and move on it. So yeah, I found land and I took the other course, and then I knew I needed to try to replace my income that was, pretty good, so that I didn't let my family down, or we could continue to live the lifestyle that we've been accustomed to. And so I went full guns blazing, sending a whole lot of mail, more than people probably recommended, and I was, more money than I was even comfortable with. But I started to see results right away, and that gave me the confidence to leave the job, and just more time that I could spend doing this, the more money I'd make, and that's been the case.
So tell me about your results. Like how much have you been able to make doing this over the 39 deals that you've done?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely not looking at my numbers, but my first year, I was able to make what I've been accustomed to making in just my first year, which that was my goal. And that's been great. And I will say, this is my second full year that I'm starting, or second calendar year. And I have made more this first quarter in 2023 than any year ever in medical device sales. And that's just one quarter. So I'd say that's a testimony of the possibilities that are out there in this.
Oh, it really is. Well, did you have a specific obstacle that you had to overcome when you were getting started, or like either personally or just in the business?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone that's, going to leave, a cushy job that people aspire to, that makes good money and has 401k match and all the health benefits, to go do something you heard about on a podcast is going to have some doubts that, am I a business owner? Can I run a business? What about the accounting? What about all the different kind of questions you have? And so you really kind of, in my opinion, need to kind of change your identity to be that business owner. And so, that's got its trials and tribulations. You got to understand, if you're an entrepreneur, that's not always going to go right. And that's the case.
I love how you said that you have to change your identity, because you really kind of have to become a different person in order to be that entrepreneur when you're working from a corporate job, right? What was
Yeah.
that like? How did you do that?
Well, I think that's in my past, I've always had ideas of entrepreneurship. I mean, I could go down a list, and it's funny when I meet up with friends, they'd say, what's your great business idea this month, Larry? And I just came to the realization that I had to burn the boats, so to speak, because if I didn't just go all in and put my, put the fire against my back, that I would, have an excuse that, why I wasn't going to do it. And now there's no excuses. You have to go all in. And some people thrive that way, some people don't. I would say this is a great thing to do. You can do a little bit of both until you feel confident. And that's what I did. I didn't quit my job until I'd done a few deals and knew and really prove the business concept to myself.
And that you would do it. Yeah. So what are you the worst at and what are you the best at? Like, are there certain parts of the job that you just can't do or don't like doing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when it comes to scrubbing lists and dealing with data, it's just not, been a lifelong salesperson, so I don't mind talking to people and I like to figure things out, but I don't like to, get real nitty gritty when it comes to the data and pricing and that kind of stuff. I'm a more of a, send out more mail that might cost a little more than to sit there and, crunch every little line down.
Yeah. And so how much mail do you send?
I send usually between 2,000 and 3,000 a week, I'd say. Sometimes more, sometimes less, just depends.
Okay. And so what kind of results does that get for you?
I mean, it just depends on the mail and where you're mailing. I mean, if you're only going after really high value properties that are over 10 acres, you're going to get a lot less, right? Like, I wish there was an easy button to tell you that I get one deal per 5,000 or whatever it might be, but I don't think that's realistic.
I agree. It's very hard to pinpoint that. Everybody wants a formula. They want to say, if I do X, then I'm going to get Y, right? So why does it not work that way?
Yeah, it's funny you said that. You see a lot of people that get into this, and I understand that it's scary. You're spending your money and you have no proof of concept, you have no idea, and you're sitting there saying, oh, I better get a deal out of the 5,000. But if you do this long enough, you'll realize that it's really about that letter getting in the right person's hand at the right time. They might have gotten your letter a week ago and they might have thrown it away, and now something's changed. Now they have my letter and they're looking at it. So in my opinion, it's kind of more of a numbers game.
Yeah. So when you went through the Land Flipping 101 course and learned one model for how to run the business, did you then pick and choose, like maybe there were some areas that I was teaching you that maybe didn't work for you, and so you adopted a different way? Did you have anything like that happen in any step of the process?
I mean, your course just helped me get a little bit more granular and be a lot more organized. And that has just, I've just been able to continue to use all those resources over and over every single month. And it just works amazing, because it's real easy to get out, not have any organization to this.
That's awesome. So have you outsourced your business at all?
I do have a full-time assistant. She's in Pennsylvania. She's amazing. I got her on hiremymom.com, and we've grown now, and she probably sends 500 text messages a day. She handles a lot of my leads and a lot of my listings. So you can grow and be able to work on bigger and more time valuable things once you understand the process and can train somebody. And it makes it real easy when you can have them log into your Land Flipping 101 and have them go through the course. It's unbelievable. It's super powerful that they can spend their first week going through that and understanding everything.
That's incredible. So is she a transaction coordinator, or does she just only handle contracts?
Well, this might be unique. You hear a lot of terminology once you get in the land flipping business about transaction coordinator and these different kinds of things. But for me, I just said real estate executive assistant. So she does everything. I don't want her categorized in one area. I want her to do anything I don't want to do. And so she does.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So you said you're text messaging. So that's a different strategy. Tell me about how you're using text messaging.
Yeah, it really wasn't anything I wanted to get into, but it's pretty affordable compared to mail, and it's been pretty good. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort because you're sitting there and you fire these text messages off, and there's people responding right away. Sure, would love an offer, or no, go away, whatever it might be. So what I love about mail is you're just getting all of that stuff already weeded out. You're getting it, they see the offer, they are calling you back. So the leads you get from mail are much more high quality. Texting is again, it is a great resource. I think I have two on my buy board right now that came from text, so it can be profitable. I think this is evolving into a lot of the stuff that house wholesalers do. And so this is one of the avenues that they use, and I wanted to give it a try.
That's awesome. Glad you're having success with it. And are you closing on your deals, or are you using transactional funding or funding partners?
Yeah, I have. I feel like I've done it all. I do primarily buy the properties. I've used funding partners in the past if needed. If you find that that's a route you want to go, there are people out there that will fund your deal, and it can be even better than 50%, like that's usual. I've used banks, get some really great property, and I call a local bank, tell them exactly what I plan to do. And some of these rural banks, they get it, they understand land, and it's not walking into your neighborhood Bank of America and asking for money for some random land. Like, you need to do some work and talk to people that know the area. And so that's been really powerful to be able to put 25% down on $100,000 property and know that you got it locked up, and that you're going to be able to buy it and then be able to sell it. So a lot of different powerful things I've tried over the last 2 years.
And do you have a specific strategy as far as, like, are you doing cash sales, or are you financing any of your sales?
Another great question. And, I really try to push myself to get out of my comfort zone and learn things. And I've not been someone to do seller financing. I don't really, it's just one more accounting thing I don't want to deal with. Like, okay, well, how much money do I have in this deal and that deal? And then I'm getting these payments. I think if you listen to some podcasts, and it sounds amazing that people are getting $10,000 a month in notes. But for me, I didn't want that. And so it's all about, a lot of this is networking, and I found a guy that will offer seller financing. So now in all my listings, I offer seller financing, and I give two prices. I give a cash price, and then a 20% more, I give a seller financing price. So I work with that guy he'll pay me 60%, and then I'll keep the 20% down payment. And now my price is higher. I know this can be kind of confusing, but the bottom line is I get my full cash price at closing, and I'm able to offer seller financing.
And your friend is happy to take the note, probably. He's buying.
Absolutely. He's going to buy and do a bunch of these, and then probably sell the package of notes to an investor and make a bunch of money. So it's a win for everybody. And those are buyers that you wouldn't have been able to get, because not everyone just has 60, 70, 80, $90,000 sitting in their checking ready to buy land, right?
Right. That's right. So now that you have found this freedom through land, how is this going to impact your life?
Oh, it's been game changing to not have to worry about, I just went on a long weekend, and now I got to ask my boss about this upcoming trip. So it's just been unbelievable. I took my family to London for spring break, went to 2 Premier League games. We're going to a big dude ranch out in Montana in a couple of months. So, when I didn't come from this kind of activity, when we were in London, I realized my son had been to, London and the beach a bunch. And when I was 9 years old, I had only been to the beach once, and we were camping. So, doing this and going all in has been, it's been amazing.
That's incredible. I'm so glad for you. And so what are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future is just to continue to grow and continue to push myself. I want to have the toolkit to handle anything and everything. So right now I've actually been learning a lot about development where, ways to get creative to get properties under contract that might be able to get entitled to sell to a builder. So, and then I've done some big subdivides where I've either invested in other subdivide deals or I've ran a subdivide deal, 70, 80 acres that you cut into 5-10 acre properties and sell those off. And that's been amazing. So I want to be able to know and handle anything that comes across my desk.
Wow. I think you're going to do great. Have you had a favorite deal so far?
Yeah, I did. My favorite deal was a deal in South Carolina. Mailed a letter. I got the letter back, which signed agreement, which usually it's good and bad because you're really excited. And then you pull up on the map and it's landlocked or whatever it might be. This was just a really nice property. I didn't know what it was worth or anything. I just said, hey, this is 15 acres and it's got road frontage. It's pretty flat. This looks pretty good. And they didn't even have their contact information. They had signed it and wrote their address. So I had to skip trace to find their actual phone number and call them. And they said, yeah, we want to do this. And it was $128,000. I didn't want to lose this deal. So I actually used a home equity line of credit on it because I just felt so confident. I had a realtor go out there from Mossy Oak and he checked it out. He says, yeah, this is a home run. And so within 3 months, I had bought and closed on it, closed the sale of it for $290,000. So it was a lot of money, and I was able to pay my HELOC off, and I just put that money in the bank, and it was an amazing, comforting feeling. Right?
You sold it for how much? To what?
$290.
$290.
Had some realtor fees in there. That guy charged me 10%, but. Yeah.
So, but you had 162,000 in profit. So, okay, I'll pay you the 10%.
Yeah, exactly. He sold it fast and he did a great job. So happy to give him his money.
Larry, I know people in medical device sales make really good money, but that's probably close to what you can make in a year doing that, right? And you did it on one deal?
You can make more. I was, there's a lot of people that make that amount in medical device 100%. And that was their whole year. And it went wired into my checking in one afternoon.
Yeah. And you're like, what have I been doing with my life? I need to do more of this.
Yeah. It's like, I wish I would have found it earlier. Right.
Exactly. Wow. Well, it's so good to hear your story. Thanks for sharing it. I'm going to share it with some of my friends, if that's okay.
No, absolutely. And, again, thanks for taking the time to put out a great product that, can help someone, whether they do this on the side or they go all in like I have. I think after buying your course and going through it, you really don't have any excuse on whatever you want to do with it.
Thank you.